Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a use it up. I've been going through and sorting it up as well. A bunch of my scrapbook paper that I have too much of certain ones that I just want to thin down my stuff. They might be ones I don't generally care about as much. Or I just want to put towards a certain project. So to start with, I thought I would show you what I'm going to do with some of these, and then I will show you some of the things I do with the extra parts. Now here's where the hole is. There's a little bit of a bent corner, but we'll live with that. I'm not going to cut that off yet. Oh, this is a little bent too, but we'll go with that as well. Okay, so what I want to do first of all with my paper, not as big of a fan of this part, but it's what we got. Okay, if we can go this way, 11. I'm going to make some 8.5 by 11 signature pages. I always think of starting with the biggest thing I want to make with something and then work my way down to the smaller pieces. So the reason I'm not worrying about this end piece, I'm just really trying to get this at 11 here, sorry. Yeah, there, okay. Is I could cut that off, but then I would be cutting this off, so why not just cut it all at once? Because maybe I want to use this as it is, although I might do something different anyway. And I'm not a fan of this as much, so I'm going to cut this down at 8.5 in this direction. So this paper may not end up being the best example. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. As far as scraps, but we'll see. So here's one 8.5 by 11, and then I like to just go ahead and fold them for the signature pages. And then behind me, which I can't show you at this moment, but maybe one day I will, I have some boxes where I have these organized up into different categories, one category being scrapbook paper that I can pull from when I'm going to do a journal. I am making a bunch of lace and roses journals that I'm collecting things for, so I thought this would be good in the rose one. It seems to be, this is kind of the bottom, and so we'll go, and sometimes I do the 8.5 first, sometimes I do the 11 first. 1, 2, 3, 4. In this case, I'm going to do the 8.5 this direction. So we have this piece here, and then we'll do 11 here because it's 12 by 12, but sometimes it has a tear off branding strip which makes it slightly larger. Okay, so we have this piece extra, and I fold this one. So this is now all ready for a signature page. And maybe I'll show you, well, I don't want it to go that way. I should have done one of the other ways because I'll just sort of show you. Oh, this is two-sided. I think I'd like to keep this part for the journal, so let's cut it this way. Do we want this to go on both pages? I think so. So let's make this 11. I was thinking that this could go in, let me think. I was thinking this would go in black and white, but it really isn't black and white. It's more of a purple. And actually this might work well with a tall journal I have, in which case this would be, the pages would go this way. So this would be the 11. The thing is that if you make a mistake, well, it just goes in the other kind of journal. And if your paper isn't directional, then it doesn't matter. Okay, so we have this scrap. And then I think I'll cut this end off. So we'll make this, and we could fold it to be a pocket. Or a tuck. That would be an awfully big one. Well, for the purposes of this example, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. So if this was a tall journal, then we would fold it this other direction. And sometimes it makes a difference as to what color your paper is underneath as far as lining up that edge. I have a whimsical dog journal, and I think this would be nice in that one. Oops, I didn't get that quite lined up here. Oh, it just slipped back over there again. Come on. I hope you guys are having a good day and that you're not battling your papers like I seem to be at the moment. Quit shifting on me here. There. There, I think I got it. Well, mostly anyway. So this would be a tall journal, whereas these would be your standard direction journals. So this would be a tall, skinny. So here's some signature pages that we can use, and this one is also decorated because it's two-sided. These ones just have white, but we can stencil in them and do other things. So I have a number of those pages that I've already done and I've put aside. I'm going to set the big one aside for right now because that's the next video that I'm going to show you what I did with these. So put that there. Now this one we chose to not trim down. So we'll decide what we're going to do with that. I could trim it down again. These left 1-inch pieces, and what I decided to make with them is tickets. So for this size, well, let me show you. I can reach this. Yeah. Just have them sitting on my scoreboard. So an average ticket is like this. These are just some tickets that I've purchased. And each ticket is like this. Now these don't have the corners punched, but we could punch them, or we could just snip them off if we wanted to give them a different shape, or we could leave them like that. So the idea is to make something approximately that size. So I found that I could take these scraps, which depending on which direction I cut first, you'd get a longer piece or a shorter piece. So I just folded them in half and tried to line up as best I could this end, but also usually I just held it in my hand. It seemed to work better like that, but then also up and down to try to make them folded across straight. So folded that, and then I just folded this part in half. Now these tickets that I'm making are going to vary slightly in size, but you can see that that's close to the same size. It's 1 inch, which is the same as this ticket, but it's just slightly longer, which that's fine. And then like this one with the cut corners, you can hole punch curve the corners, but I just chose to snip mine a little bit off of each corner like this. And I'll show you this one before I show you the next part. So this is the two-sided one. Usually with the white, it actually is, I think for the most part, is better because you have a nice writing surface on the back. Although you could write on this lighter purple side, so that would work out. So we line up this end and kind of line up our sides. Okay, now if we were to fold this in half, that's way too big. What I found out the other ones worked out well is to fold them in thirds. Now it's a little fussy. You could get a scoreboard, you could measure it and score it, you know, for whatever dimension you come up with is the right dimension. I just kind of fiddled with it until I could get it as close as I could into thirds like this. And then just pinch or score the ends. Trying to keep it square here though. And then just go ahead and nip these corners. If you're doing this, you probably will end up with little pieces of confetti-like paper all around. Like here, we have quite a bit. And just kind of clean that up periodically. Okay, here's the next part. So then I just took my distress ink and went around the edges. And when you're making these tickets, you can leave them in a strip if that works for you. I chose to separate mine into just single ones, which then you could actually do a page edge by just gluing several of these down in a, you know, kind of collaged fashion along the edge. I folded these and did the seams so you get the edge like that, kind of back and forth and then across the line. So this is the side that you're doing for the writing, and then you just go back over to the other side. And depending on your paper, you know, you can see a little bit or not very much. If you have really dark paper, it doesn't show up as much. I've seen people use the like a mahogany for kind of a red or a dark blue, or they use walnut for a darker brown, which then shows up some on the darker colors. And depending on how grungy you might want them, you could, you know, go across the front as well. So same way, we just do the folds like this. And then you have a strip. But you can also take them apart, which I'll show you in just a minute. This one I hadn't unfolded yet. So it doesn't take very long to distress these, and doesn't take long to fold them or make the little snippies. And it really isn't going to take very long to decorate them because there's not all that much you can put on them. You could print out the word ticket, or you could, if you have a stamp that says ticket, you could just put that on there. It could say ticket, so much money, or such and such an event. Maybe you put admit one, or circus, or ride, or, you know, prize, drawing, whatever you want to put on them. I'm gonna, for these anyway, I'm just going to decorate them with little focal image things. Later I might stamp some. I might, who knows what I might do. I might even add some kind of collage to them. So there's that side. This side really isn't going to see much, but we'll go along the edge at least to make sure that we get all the white cut edge. See, these are pretty plain, this paper, so what you put on them will make a difference in what you're going to have. Maybe this fold will show, I don't know. Let's see. A little bit. More than the edges, it seems. I'm filming this a little ahead, and our weather today is very frosty. It almost looks snow-like out there, but it's not. It's just below freezing frost, which is giving me a bunch of work to try to keep my hummingbirds fed because it keeps freezing. So here's these strips. You can envision them put down a page as a border. I'll just use this one as an example because I don't have my coffee dyed one handy. So look, they're practically the perfect size. You could glue them down a page for a page edge, or you could tear them off. And here's some of the ones I've done, so I'll show you them. These aren't decorated yet, but you could do a collage down the page, and I'm just picking random ones, but maybe you'll have, you know, something more particular in mind color-wise or something. So you might just scatter some down the page like that. So these are some that I've already done. I've already taken them apart, and you can see that some of them are a little longer. I did that because these are the Hello Kitty ones, and I didn't want to rip through the flower or the cat, so I made it to contain it completely. Otherwise, generally, I went with approximately the same size. And you can see that I have all of these from all the pages that I've cut recently. Plus, I have these, which aren't folded yet. And then I have these. Here's some more that I haven't folded. I have these that I have folded, some of which I've snipped, and some that I haven't, but they're not distressed. So I've made a lot of tickets. So you'll see them in a lot of upcoming pockets and things. I need to finish these. And I have a few more to fold. This one is a little wider, and this with the strip I wouldn't use, but these are the right size for the tickets. So after you do them like this, then I just carefully tore them apart. And if they end up with a white edge, I just distressed it. So there's one ready to decorate. And like I said, I kind of like them apart, but you could leave them in strips if that's what you'd like. You can always take them apart at a later time if that's what you want to do. So let's see what we can do for decorating these for this simple activity. Like I said, my next video, at least that I'm going to make, I'm not sure what order exactly that you're going to see them, but it will be using the bigger strips that came off my scraps. And they varied some, so they might not all go in the same project, but they will eventually get used. The idea is to use them up enough that they're not just sitting around in a pile somewhere waiting for someday, that they're actually put to use right now. Here, let's do one additional one just so we can see something different. This one is trimmed. This is like a wood panel or fence or wall. I guess it's not really a fence. It could be like a barn wall or something. So I trimmed this into some tickets, and it's not white on the back. It has like ledger antique writing, but you could still write over that if you wanted, or just enjoy looking at it. You can't write a lot on the back of these, but you can still write, you know, a little thought. Maybe there's a date of a special event, or maybe a special person you want to think about. Oops. So you get a little bit of a white edge, so that's why I usually go back and get that edge. So here's some for us to play with. What I pulled out just as options to play with is like this little postage stamp. And you want to consider, like with these, we'll just turn it over so we can remember what the back looks like, what you might want to do with them. So it kind of, you know, sort of goes with the color. I have so many more to choose from, but I'm only going to do a couple because I want to make this video really short and just give you the idea so that you can go off and play yourself. Now, maybe you're not cutting signature pages out of scrapbook paper, but all you need is 1-inch wide strips for the standard thing that you would use for these. And these tickets, you know, can go this direction just as easily as horizontally. I'm going to make this edge just a little bit smaller. This is a little plant in a pot that I've got out of a magazine. Just make a little less of this paper around the edge. Then we'll distress / highlight the edges of this. Oops. When they're really flimsy like this, it's sometimes kind of challenging to distress the edges because the paper doesn't want to hold still. You know, this would also look nice on the wood, but I think it could look nice on the purple. You can also go like this and have things sticking up if you wanted to. Here's another little plant. This one looks like it was in a pot, but it maybe was on the edge of the paper, or I cut the pot off for something else. So now it's more like in a little planting saucer. Here's, I guess this is printed on the computer bond paper, so it must have been clip art of some kind. That would actually look nice on the purple. Here's a sunflower or a daisy or something in that family. I'm not sure what it is by the size. And I just randomly pulled out some things, but I think we can make use of these. Here's a little bird. And you can double up on these pictures. You could add some words or whatever. We're going to add some grungy numbers. I think the light bird would look nice on the dark. This bird sure what color I would like it on. Maybe this would be better on there. Okay, so now we have some numbers. I don't know if these are probably small enough. I didn't completely cut them out because I just grabbed them before the video and I wasn't sure what all we might want. This is a digital. Like I said, I'm still not real good. I haven't figured out a way to keep track of whose digitals are whose. That looks nice together. It'd be nice if I could just have a little smaller thumbnail print with somebody's name that I could put a little image of the kit that I could just thumb through when I'm showing something or using something, and I can say, oh look, that's so-and-so's digital and from this particular kit. Probably eventually though I will be using this and sharing whose it is when I do my upcoming grungy journal, because I can see that I'm going to be using a number of these there. We'll try this really long number, see if it will fit on one of these. Seems like that needs something else behind it. I do have this one there. I think one of these lighter ones would look better with the sunflower. Maybe this 20. It's got kind of the color of the center of the flower. I hope this video is recording well. If you do videos and you have a challenge with that, you'll understand the wondering sometimes. Did I really get that going the way I'm supposed to? Let's see. I think I should have had some other colors. Maybe this 35. Now these are, chances of these being in the same journal are pretty slim, so you don't have to worry about people seeing the same number or whatever. Wonder if this big long blue one, how it needs something else. I wonder how it would look with just another number. All things look better in threes though, so I need to find something else. We've got my word book handy. I can look at that. Okay, this rose one. I do have these really little ones. Perhaps they can go on something. And we do have this one still. I know I have all these in a baggie, but I think I'm going to put them in a plastic box. That might need a little paper or doily. Maybe a little doily would be good. Don't think it needs very much. Something to be a little softer with the rows and to make our numbers stand out more. You could also put some doily with that purple one. Maybe just a skinnier piece. This piece can be somewhere else later, so we could put that on there. And maybe this too. Let's see. This plant needs something. I think we'll just set these three aside. Concentrate on finishing these. I could put this little scrap. Don't really like this little tiny piece hanging out. What if we put this in there? Maybe distress it. Put it in there. Maybe even put some on the 3. Okay, this one there, I think it needs something a little lighter, but yet some color. So I think I'll do this turquoise one with the brown letters. I often put them over there, so I think I'll put them this way. This one's going that direction. Whoops, we have our 20. Did I give everybody a number? I did, so I think we'll set these aside for right now. Let's look in our words book. See if we have some little tiny words. Here's the word caring. It's repositional post-it note type glue. It has kind of a nice smell to it. Kind of like a soap or a hand lotion, but yet in a pleasant smell. So somebody can have caring. We do have awesome and key. Let's see, what else do we have? These are bigger. Here's some small one. We have birds. We could just put bird, singular. Just snip off the S. Trim this down just a little bit more so that the S coming off doesn't seem as unnatural. Let's see. Nature. Don't have desert here. How about find? That would be kind of fun to just kind of like going out and finding, oops, that's this page here, okay. Finding things. Where'd it go? I saw the word find. You probably can see it, huh? I see fruit, flowers, love, sun. How about sun for the sun looking flower? And these have been already just stressed with vintage photo, but I could do the edges a little bit or not, depending on what I'd like. So this one can go, whoops, with that one. Come on. What else do we have? Here's search. Search, but I don't have find now. Hands, flowers, creation, no. There's seek. Vines. Here's garden. We could put garden with that rose, might be nice. Trim that one down. What else might we have? These are big. This is so nice to be able to just look through here and find things. And even if you have a whole sentence, you can just take a part of it. What can we find? A lot of these that are just too big. These have more like words, I mean numbers, like page numbers, but we already have numbers for ours already. And I hate to cut the quotes apart, at least at this time, because there are other options. This one, oops, I don't want to, yeah, I don't want to cut the page. I think discover would be nice. This one I don't mind cutting apart. Whoops. Get this out of here. Doesn't want to cut. Sorry, this isn't. There we go. All right, what else might we want? There's discover. These are too big. Oh, we have eyes to see. I feel like we need something with this bird. Just isn't as big. And like I said, things are better in thirds or threes. So I feel like I need something on these. I don't think I have my sticker words that I got recently. Well, there's always nature. I don't think we've used that one yet. Sometimes I'd like them just to stay this big, but for this purpose, I need them smaller. Maybe we'll stop here with putting them on and see if I need anything more. So we'll set this aside for the moment. And we'll start with the ones that we know we're going to do. Get this edge. If you want to share in the comments at all, you can share what you might be doing. I know I'm doing a lot of sorting it out and using it up. It's gonna be a big year. That's why I made it my challenge, but still creating while I'm doing it. And we seem to keep having changes in our household. Which are opportunities for more sorting and cleaning and using. Okay, we'll just put this on in such a way that it touches both of those, kind of linking them together. So here's a little ticket that we can use. Let's see, we're going to make this one be garden. So, oops. First of all, I'll put this doily on. Just get a little bit on its edges. I think when I can find these doilies on sale, whether it's a thrift store or whatever, I would like to keep acquiring some more because they're very handy to have, but I especially like the smaller ones with more intricate designs. The bigger ones, you know, aren't as interesting. Plus you have all this section in here that I generally wouldn't put on a page. This is a little more interesting in there, or actually a lot more interesting. So I like the littler ones, and the more intricately the design, the better. So I'm going to kind of collect some of those. And like I said, we're doing lace and roses. I think I have quite a number of those. We'll look at that one of these days soon as to how many I have. I think I want the 34 down here in the corner. Which blends into the background some, but on the doily it still is able to stand out. Okay, this one I'm not going to touch the 34, but it's on the doily, and this is going to touch the rose and the doily, kind of anchoring them together. Now this comes up a little bit, but that's okay. I might trim it at a later time if I feel like it's needed. So here's this one. And let's see, we'll put this one can be eyes to see. So we'll put the number on first. I really like this wood paper. If I see some more of that, I might get another stack sometime. You could put in the description box if you have a favorite place to buy scrapbook paper. I know that our local stores are having less of it, and that some of the stores are closing. Whoops. Uh-oh, we got this. It's almost like bird flight. It's in its little up and down curly path. These I'm going to not touch. They're going to be floating, which is not what I would normally do, but I just kind of feel like doing it. Maybe the bird's, I guess it could sit on this and have its beak there. That'll work. There we go. So here's our little wooden ticket with its back. And then this one, we'll put our little doily lace down first. I've heard that Joann's might be going out of business, and that maybe even Michael's might be going away as well. Don't know, but that limits our options. I haven't really bought a lot of paper lately because I'm just really trying to use what I have, but occasionally I buy something like this wooden one I've bought last year. Oops. But it's making me want to go out and find some because I don't want my options to go all away before I can get there. Okay, this one needs a little something too. Maybe we'll do another little piece of doily. Maybe I'll just do a little skinny, oops, come on, a skinny piece. And to match what's already there, I do need to distress the edges. Okay, so I just put it down here at the bottom corner, and then we'll put the other stuff on top. I thought this video was going to be really short, but once you start decorating, it gets a little longer. Hopefully it's still short. And hopefully this gives you ideas of some things that you might use to do some things, you know, whether you make cards or scrapbooks or junk journals, mixed media art. Tickets would be good on them too. So lots of options. And maybe you just want to make one strip of stickers, tickets. There's another one. Because that's all you need to do. Just as you do your paper, you could just make some tickets. And some people use a they use a particular collection, so to speak, you know, whether it's a pack or whatever from the same company of paper to make a journal. And I'm trying to decide whether I want this way or not. Kind of want to see the little dots, but I don't know if I will or not. Anyway, so if you have pages and then you have tickets and you have journal cards and tags and pockets and tucks and belly bands and whatever made out of the same collection, then you know that everything's going to be coordinating. I also have a purple journal I'm working on, so that could be an option for that. Sometime I'll tell you some of my upcoming ones. Okay, so this is some doily, flower digital, and a number 2 rusty digital. This one, I guess we still have 3 words, so we might use them all. This is bird. And I think we'll put caring with the potted plant and nature down here with this one. This is a digital from somewhere as well. Don't remember where. It's one I particularly like. I like it with this number because the colors are very similar. Looks like a little metal number tag. And I guess I haven't really been doing the edge of most of these. I feel like I did one, but I guess I did the sun. So anyway, we'll do this one. I think making these tickets is fun. Hopefully you will too. And like I have a whole collection of things to make. I'll slide this over here. This petal is off the edge and I'm going to leave it for now, but here's this one. We also have Discover. Oops, they have that sticky stuff on it. Should we put Discover on this one? Not sure if that's really the word I would want, but I might want a word on there at a later date. Okay, this one we'll do bird. Tickets I find are just a nice little size of something to throw in. Now a lot of times they get tossed in that way, so maybe actually I should turn this and occasionally make them going this way, because often they're in a pocket like that. Just let its little beak and tail stick out, and then we'll just add this little bird word, or little word bird, whichever way you want to think about it. Okay, there we go. So there's that one. And carrying is quite large, so we need to make sure we leave room to be able to see it. So with its post-it note-y stuff, we can kind of stick it sort of in place. That's going to stick up. Might be too big there. I think I might need to stick this on. Sorry about my dog barking. Not sure why he's barking. Yes, I hear you. You have to wait a little bit. I'm talking to some other people. Okay. We'll care for our plant, especially once that's cut off like a saucer. It might be good to just stick it under here, kind of like that. So here's this one. So here's all the ones we made. These two go that way. The rest of these go this way. And we have a lot more still to be made in the future. Plus, I'm sure I'll cut edges off again, so lots to make. But here's tickets from 1-inch scraps of scrapbook paper. This is Peggy from the Pearl Forest, which I may not have said at the beginning. I hope you have a fun, creative day full of love, and then I'll see you back here for another Sort It Out, Use It Up soon with the rest of our scrapbook paper. Bye, take care.